Hello Dragon Wisp, welcome to today's Advent Calendar video. Today I'm going to be doing a video review on the classic Christmas movie, The Year Without a Santa Claus. For those of you who haven't seen it, if you choose to, one of the things you need to remember is that the movie is dated as far as animation and everything goes, but it's still a really, really good story. So I'm going to start with the synopsis or summary, for those of you that don't know, of the movie. So basically, Santa wakes up and decides the one year that there's not enough Christmas spirit. He doesn't feel well. He's going to take the year off. Calls down, tells the elves, stop packing toys, stop making them. We're taking the year off. We're just going to stay home, put the reindeer back in the barn, everything like that. Mrs. Claus calls the doctor. Doctor says he's obviously not feeling well and makes a snide comment about how there's nobody that really believes anymore anyway. So Mrs. Claus decides, one, that she's going to play Santa this year, and she decides to send two of the two head elves, Jingle and Jangle, along with Vixen, baby reindeer at the time, down to, the human realm, to find some Christmas spirit and find people who believe in Santa. Unfortunately, as they're traveling, they end up getting caught in the middle of a battle between the snow miser and the heat miser, and crash land down into a town called Southtown in the USA. A town in which very few people believe, and the people that do believe are extremely skeptical. Vixen ends up getting sick because the reindeer isn't supposed to be in that extreme temperature for any prolonged period of time without the magic of Santa Claus, etc., etc. And they disguise Vixen as a dog. Vixen gets arrested. It's a whole vicious thing. Mrs. Claus ends up coming down to save, or no, Mrs. Claus, I'm getting ahead of myself. Santa, once Mrs. Claus informs him of what happened, ends up heading down there as well, I believe using Blitzen, rescues Vixen from jail, the pound, finds a family with their young son. I believe his name was Iggy or Icky, one or the other. He doesn't believe in Santa quite yet. He's skeptical. However, his father and mother very much do. His father even sings a song with Santa about how he had encountered him as a child. Then they go to the mayor. The mayor says, you know what? If you can get it to snow here in Southtown, I'm sure that could make people believe in Santa. And he rolls his eyes and everything. So Mrs. Claus ends up traveling to see the snow miser, asks him after a very fun, very memorable song about being the snow miser. And he says, well, my brother's got to let me do it because that's his territory. So then she travels to the heat miser. He also sings a very memorable song about being the heat miser. And he says, you know what? If I can have one day at the North Pole, then Southtown can have snow. Of course, they, argue and fight about it until Mrs. Claus goes and sees Mother Nature, who tells them to stop being children, basically, and scolds them. So then it snows. And the people in Southtown start believing in Santa Claus because the mayor runs around singing about it. And then, yay, Christmas. And this made worldwide headlines. People, instead of sending him lists, were sending him get well cards and everything. So, it's really wholesome. It's a really feel-good movie. And if you haven't seen it, I do recommend it as a good movie to watch. Alright, okay, so there's your synopsis. Now, ratings. Okay, so, like I said, for animation, I'm going to give it a 3 reindeer. Sorry, I forgot. I use a dragon system. 3 Christmas dragons. For animation, as for the time, it was extremely well done. Like the whole animation process for it, but like I said before, it has become dated. But that's because we're in an age where we're all using 3D animation on everything and things like that. And, people are exploring with a backpack and a map and a monkey. Story-wise, I'm giving it 5 dragons out of 5. Because, like I said, it is an extremely wholesome classic story. They did cover quite a lot of ground, and I think it is something nice to watch, like with the family and everything. Aging, I'm giving it a 2 dragons, because whilst some themes of it are, they did hold up, a lot of it is like, you can very clearly tell it is an older time. You got the haircuts that the kids in the movie had, the clothes everyone wears. It's very clearly the men go to work and the women stay at home, sort of thing. So that obviously didn't age well with the times. Music, I'm giving it 5 dragons, because almost every song in the movie is one that just burrows its way into your brain, and like you'll be sitting there, and then all of a sudden, I'm Mr. White Christmas, I'm Mr. Snow. And in this day and age, people know the Miser Brothers songs because they're on TikTok and everything. So overall, my rating for the Year Without a Santa Claus, wait, it's not dragons I use, it's eggs. Overall, I'm giving it 4 eggs. Because it is a classic movie, and I do recommend at some point that everybody watch it. So, thank you for joining me for today's Advent Calendar video. I hope to see you tomorrow. And until then, have a peaceful day. Bye.